YouTube, this man always yours page, aka the Emperor of Female Battling Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we got a show coming up tomorrow, and it is the Omaha Pro. And Omaha Pro has been around for quite some time. It's a pro am show because it's part of the IFB Midwest. It's a show called the Dual Championships, where you know competitors earn a national qualification where they get to compete in the nationals. So anyway, I was kind of waiting on to do this one because the fact was I have a little issue with it, and you will see in a second what the issue I have. There's only two women in this show. Two. I mean, what the holy crap? I mean, I'm flabbergasted. I'm just. This show has in the past has done pretty well. There has been good. I mean, last year it was not as many. I think it was like maybe 12 or 11 women last year compared to in the past. And it's just I don't know what's going on. But from what I've been finding out, especially through a little investigation, there's issues with the promoter of this show, and Winstream no longer sponsors this show. So many, I think, a lot of the ladies who Winstream from ambassadors who didn't want to do a show, and some women I think are still waiting on for the shows later on in the season, like somewhere around about the summer. Like we got Chicago coming up, Tampa coming up, a couple of those shows. So this show is kind of, I mean, the Vancouver. We had a little incident like that in Vancouver when we had one competitor. Now we have two, and it's crazy. I remember back in Puerto Rico it was three, but then some women bounced and jumped over to women's bodybuilding, and in some cases it helps some women. They earn qualification for the Olympia, and maybe points. So we only have two ladies. First off, we have here one Miss Kelly Kefever. If I'm pronouncing the name wrong, I want to apologize to Miss Kelly. And she turned pro back in 2019 and in women's bodybuilding. So this would be her debut. So I wish you best of luck. We have a lady right here, one Miss Danielle Willis, who turned pro also back in 2019, but in women's physique, but she made the switch to women's open. Now she last competed at Savannah Pro last year. And the thing is, most definitely, I feel like she's going to win this show. If she brings great conditioning compared to she was in Savannah and maybe a little more size, that's all it takes. And she's going to win this show. If the other lady, Kelly, can come in better condition, and, because, she hadn't competed in 3 years. So if she take the time and make adjustments and bring in great condition and size, she might win this. She might be a dark horse, but I feel most definitely it's gonna be Danielle Willis' show. And I follow Danielle. Well, she's not on social media on that much, but she's on certain websites, and and I thought she was going to compete this year, but I think she decided that she wants to take an opportunity. So this is she's going to finally make the Olympia. I just feel that there's no doubt about it. Now, one person who I thought might be coming to the show to defend her title is Michaela Aycock. Michaela won it last year, and that got her second appearance to Olympia. And her first was when she was competing as a physique competitor. And back in I believe 2020, she made the switch, to women's physique. And Michaela, she's small, she's short, she has a great wingspan, great lat development, small waist. I mean, her quads are pretty good from the show. She didn't do too well at the Olympia. I think she might have cracked the top 10. I'm trying to remember, or I think she got 11 or 12. I think she cracked the top 10. I always try to remember these things. Now, next up is a lady who I follow on Facebook. We have conversations a few times, and that's one Mrs. Jessica Martin. Now, Miss Jessica Martin, she competed last year's at the Omaha, and she took second place. But then Jessica had got the virus, and it took her out. So she missed most of the season. And it takes a while to recover from virus. If you're not vaccinated, it takes some people a lot longer to recover. So it took a while to recover, and I think she pretty much missed most of the season. I followed Jessica on Facebook. She's getting huge. She's really coming along. So is a possibility she might compete this year? Maybe not. I don't know. It's all up to her what she wants to do. And this is one person that I thought would do the show is Stephanie Fletcher. But if you caught my last live stream and heard that Stephanie has a foot issue, she had an injury when she did in New York, and it put her out. So we don't know when Stephanie's going to pick. Now, one thing, this has been a great showdown between Stephanie and Jessica. They're both tall, blonde, both single moms. This would have been the battle of the blonde beasts, blonde beauties, whatever you want to call it. both these ladies, I think this would have been a great showdown between these two. If it was just just them two, and and instead of Michaela, but it's gonna be well for Stiff Fletcher. We may not even see her till the end of the year or maybe next year. It depending on how severe is the foot thing. She can't train. She can't stand too well on one foot, and that's a tough thing. This is a show where she probably would have won qualification if she competed the show. So but it's up in the air. One lady who should do this show. Now she already done two shows since then, and that is Michelle Jen. Now Michelle. She took second at the Toronto show last weekend, and took third at the New York Pro about 2 weeks ago. I would do the show if I was her. Maybe she wanted just maybe a little cost effective because she did Toronto, she did New York, she maybe wanted to rest. But if I was her, knowing that she's leading the points by 20 some points on the point system, but you feel like there's a chance you can qualify, and her conditioning, like where some ladies told me that she had perfect balance, near perfect balance. Her conditioning, she probably could beat the other two ladies. So I would have done the show if I was her. Knowing you can get women qualification, that means the point standing would change when you get out of the point standing. So and just, but like I said, it's up to her what she wants to do. And like I said, the cost doing two shows nearly back to back. I think Toronto was a week after, no, like a week after, New York, because remember there was no shows that following week because we did two videos. So I don't know, if I was her, I would jump on that. I would have jumped on it. Next up is a lady did Toronto, who did the Omaha last year, who did New York a couple weeks ago. It's Keisha Oliver, and Keisha took fifth at the New York. If I was her, I would jump on the show too. She had a couple of weeks to make the adjustments. She's still in good, decent shape. She could have just did the show. I mean, especially with this small lineup, and she took fifth. No, she took fourth last year because I remember, Michaela took first. Jessica took second. Then Hoda Lopez took third, and you had LaDonna Day at fifth. And the big question is whether LaDonna Day. I mean, this is a show where she could have probably taken qualification. All she got to do, LaDonna, she seems like she never always come in fully conditioned. But there's a possibility that she could have done the show. She probably would have won. But if I was Keisha, I would have jumped on this show. And another lady from my home state, Miss Shaquita Barrero, she should have took this show. I mean, she took fourth at New York. That was your debut show. It wouldn't hurt to have a second show in your pocket, especially that either because you got points already from New York. Because and New York is one of those second tier shows, so she has at least, I would believe, about fourth, ninth, about 7 points, I believe. So 7 points, and then all you got to do is just win the show or take second. We'll give you 11 points, so that puts you in the point standing. You'll just be right there with Irene Anderson, who ties. You can remember Irene tied with Lisa Kodry, but Lisa won the Toronto show. Now Lisa's not in no more on the point standings. So as you know, the top three contenders right now is Michelle Jen, who has 25, I think 20 some points, 22, 23. Then you have Stephanie and Mona Porcella, who tied for 12, and you got Irene for 11. So all you gotta do is if you get at least 4 points, you got 11 points. You get 10, you're not even in the top three. But right now you got two tied for number two, you got one and third. So you're just tied for three. So she should have done the show. I most definitely, if she made adjustments after the New York Pro, she could have won the show or maybe even place. Now, one lady who is going to be out of action for a good while, we're not certain if she's going to even compete, and that's Hunter Henderson. Last year Hunter won in her bodybuilding amateur debut at this show, at the I think the dual championship show, and she won, which got a qualification for the USA Championship, which is a national qualifier, which earn your pro card. And where I follow people, somebody dropping on me that Hunter is not competing. She's not even doing powerlifting anymore. But there's a question. She's still young. There's a good possibility she might take a step back for a couple of years. She knows she has medical issues. She might pop back. You never know. Like I said, she's just in her mid-20s. And, and you can sit out for maybe 2 or 3 years and then come back and still be not even 30 yet. So, this would be a great show where she can probably even earn her qualification. All she got to do is come in just in better condition than the other two women, she probably would most definitely earn her qualification for the Olympia. She came second at Tampa. That was pretty good for your first pro show. I was I said when I did a video where I said she should set out a year and then come back and compete. But she decided to do that Tampa Bay show, and she did pretty good. There was people saying she thought she was going to win that show, but Mona Porcello was just on point. Just on point. But like I said, that's up to Hunter. She's still, like I said, she's still young. She still, if she want to come back, she can come back. Now, this is the lists for women's physique. As you know, in the Omaha Pro division, there's only two divisions: there's women's physique and women's bodybuilding. Everything else is amateur. It's already nearly 20 women in this show, or I said some ladies 500 female, 500 physique competitors already. But I think the reason why there's so many for this show is because Natalia Cornejo, she's already doing, I think, 2 more shows before the Olympia. So some of these ladies say, let me jump on a show where she's not at. So this will show, I think, the numbers got stacked here. Maybe 20 women. I think it was as many was last year. But this show, I think, a lot of ladies say, you know what? I don't want to compete with Talia. I may find a show she's not doing. Let me jump on it. And that's why you have a lot of numbers. This is really not too many real heavy hitters. Like with, some women who I think most definitely possibly might be some threats. First here we have Tomofifa Mikimo, Kiko. I'm sorry, I want to get her name right. And she's a professional competitor. She can compete for quite some time. This could be an opportunity for her to earn her. I think she has done some. I believe she might have been Olympic before. Like I say, I don't know all of the physique Olympia. I don't follow physique as much, but she might have been there before. But this could be. She could be. I think she's one of the heavy hitters. Maybe a first place winning. She might get a qualification. Now, next up we have here is Marie CC Barbara, and she's up in the air. She competed at the Ultima show about a couple of weeks ago. So there's a possibility, if she makes the adjustments, she might possibly can win. But I feel like there's still 3 or 4 more people that probably can most definitely dominate. How we have here is Joan Quinn Barrow. I think it is. That's the name. And she's been competing for quite some time. Much more mature. I think she hadn't competed since the Tampa Bay Pro back in 2020. I think she did both Women's Open in physique and Masters. So it's really, looks like this is physique. But like I said, if she can bring conditioning and that is one thing. It's not much about size and physique, but it's about conditioning. Here is Kara Bennett. She's practically brand new. I think she got a pro card about a couple years back. I think she's in the wrong division. If she don't, she's really small. I think she's a figure competitor trying to be a physique competitor. I think she should, put on the high heels and do the physique. Now, this is one person I am a fan of, and she didn't tell me she was doing this show. How didn't tell me, Britt? How didn't tell me? I know she said she wanted to do a show because she's been out for a while. And, this is my dear friend, Miss Brittany Big Lemonade Brooks. She is a lovely lady. She's one of the ladies who did quite a few interviews with. I mean, we try to keep in contact with each other. I know she's busy. She got jobs. She got kids. And, last year she was dealing with sickle cell. And let's talk about she has sickle cell. And that really puts you out. And she really wanted to come back and compete. She hadn't competed since, I think, 2020. She, I follow her on social media, on IG. She was pretty impressive. I was trying to contact her, see what's going on, what's up, whatever. But I think she's focused on this show. But she could be making the top 5. Winning, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. As she's a great physique, but winning this show, it's gonna be tough. I think, depending on who's here less. Then we have here is this is I think this is who is this? I think this is Ann Gruber. I put this in the wrong way. It's Ann Gruber, and I think she competed at the Atlantic Coast show a while back, and she's been competing for some time. She's possibly a contender. So like I said, it's all depending on how the rest of the card look. Then we have here is Mariana von Guerich, I think that's her name. Now she's from Chile, and she competed at the Toronto last weekend, and she's young. And that's the thing, I think she's one of the youngest competitors at this show. So there's a possibility her youth might be her advantage. Now she's good conditioning, but if she brings it a little bit tighter, she might most definitely is I think a top contender here. Here we have is Tina Mora Gwendmama. I'm gonna say Tina. I want to chop up a name. Now she was one of the few Americans that competed at the Vancouver Showdown, at least like about a couple months ago almost. And I think she made top five at that show, all depending. That was a show with Eva Montgomery. She was the only female bodybuilder. If she made adjustments, I mean, she could possibly take this show. Now, this is Jasmine Lee, and she has a impressive physique, great looks. I mean, look at the abdominals. She can bring condition her quads and both sides and her arms. She could be a top five contender. I mean, even if she, depending how she looks, she might win the show. Now, I think she's on the pro card about a couple of years ago, I believe. I was trying to research about these ladies. I mean, so much information because I can't always get all in my head. But Jasmine looks pretty impressive. There's a good chance that she might even win But the next person, Amanda Machado, she's from Brazil, but she lives in the United States now. Amanda, she won the Omaha last year, so this is her defending her title, and she looks pretty impressive. I think she did do the Olympia, I believe. And she took second. No. She took second at the Omaha because it was Christella who won the Omaha last year. She took second at that show. Was it she? I mean, I know she made the top three, top five. But if she really comes in like she did at the Tampa, I think she's the one who's going to win this show. She's got credit. Now we have another Jessica Martin, and she's a physique competitor. I think she competed at the Ultima show. So all she got to do is if she can come in good condition, it's all how it is. Then we have here is Renee Renee. Her name is really tied on my tongue. Now she competed at the Toronto last weekend. She competed at the New York a couple weeks ago, and also she did the I think St. Louis or was it Pittsburgh, I believe. And she's still coming along. If I was her, I think she should sell out the show. But you know what? This show, being that it's not as a big, it's only a 4-tier show. It's all dependent. And I think a lot of ladies here are much more mature. We have him as Amy Richardson, and you know what? My man Jared, he loves the Asian female bodybuilders. I love them too. I think they got to make it look too much tats. I think this thing is too many women have addictions to tattoos, But and I wish she didn't put them in the mid section. She should have kept them away from that part of the body. But if she comes in with better conditioning and just a slight little size, just even in physique, a little size does help. So she's possibly going to be one of the top contenders, if not. So even she might make top 10. It's like 17 women. She might make top 10. Here is Tiffany Rhodey. I think that's her name is. I want to get it correct. She's been competing sometimes. She also competed at the Atlantic Coast show a while back. I think she's much more mature competitor. She has good looks to her. But like I said, it's about what condition you can bring. Here is Julia. No, it's actually Julie Schultz. They say Julia, but it's Julie because I found it because sometimes they've been doing a lot of typoing. Like I said, she hadn't been pro too long, and it's about I don't know. I think she's not gonna do too well. I think she might make next to the bottom, possibly. And I think I can tell that she's a bit mature. I think she also has kids. I think you can see that line right there, mixed section where she probably had look like it might have been a C-section or something. I don't know. I can't tell. Here is Natalie Ray Wolf. She competed at the Pittsburgh show. I think it's another one that's gonna probably bottom out. She may not even crack the top 10. Like I said, the lineup is like I said, it's a lot of ladies are mature, and there may be 2 or 3 girls who are a little much younger. But like I said, I don't know. And then we have here is Chelsea Worcester. Worcester, I think it is. And it's been a while she's competed. I think she competed in a few shows. Not know, like I said, I don't know much about. Like I said, I don't follow as many of the physique women because, like I said, I focus a lot on female bodybuilding. A lot of physique women don't have not, some have caught my eye, but others not as much. But it's all depending how the rest of the women look, how she's gonna do. She might crack top 10, or she might bottom out and make a number tie for 16th, because there's 17 competitors, and usually after that you stop counting after 16. So, this is gonna be, and like I said, a show that's really, I think this show is really open. But I believe the top five, I think it's gonna be Amanda. I think my dear friend Brittany, Marianne, and Tommy, Tommy probably, and maybe Ann Richardson. That's just my thoughts. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm a fan. And I'm just giving you my opinion. Anyway, the show's going to be Saturday, tomorrow. I think the prejudging is going to be in the morning. Then the final is going to be later that evening. So, and this last year didn't do a live stream, so we're not doing live stream this year. Because, like I said, there's some issues with, I don't know what's going on with this guy who runs the show. And I looked at it, it's not even on the schedule list for Wings of Strength. So they're not sponsoring this show. And that's why a lot of competitors. But I said this to some ladies, and some were like surprised. I even was talking with my dear friend, Miss Tina S. Williams. She's just, she's like, what the crap? I mean, especially she's done this show 3 times. The first time she did it, it was against Margie Martin. Second time it was the debut. It was the second show for Andrew Shaw in bodybuilding, and then the third time, Michaela won, and she, and I know she wishes she's done it. We're talking, she's doing some other shows, but she feel like she wishes she had done this show. And I think she do. And another lady I was talking to, Tana Huey. Tana, I tell you, she should have done a show, and she said like she felt like she maybe should have done a show because, like I said, she wants to do some shows in America, and this would be the great show to get you in. Because the fact is, it's not a Wing of Strength sponsored show, and then you only have 2 women's lineup. All you got to do is come in the best condition in the 2 of them. You could have won this show. So I think Tina and Tana, if they came in best condition, they could be fighting for first and second. And one under qualification. I know it's only 4 points for the show because it's a 4th tier show. Tana gets 6 points already. All she get is 10. I'll tell Tana, I mean, she didn't do the Toronto, but she should have done Toronto because she probably would have got 3rd place. Get yourself 7 points, and you get the points. You think about it. You get in the point standing. You will be ahead of, most definitely, if you did the show and did the Toronto, you'd be ahead of Mona and Stephanie. Which means you would have been, hey, points, you would be just behind Michelle. But like I said, it's all about the timing, how your coaches want you to do, what shows you want you to do, and it's all up to the competitors. But this is going to be a great show. Qualification for both Tina and Tana, and qualification for anybody who want to do the show. But I don't know. Next year, there could be a chance that because of this slow showing, we may not have women's bodybuilding at the Omaha. But I hope they don't take it out. I hope they don't take it out. I hope that the guy keeps it on there. Hope next year, ladies who realize that they missed those opportunities, realize, what, I'm going to shoot for the show. Because, this is a great show to earn my qualification. So, best of luck to the 2 ladies. I know most definitely Danielle Willis is going to win. I just telling you, I just feel like she's going to win. And, see you in Olympia. But I know some of the ladies who are now realizing, kicking themselves, saying, like, I should have done this damn show. I should have. Knowing there's going to be 2 women in the show, all I got to do is come in and just decent. And you don't have to be top shelf condition, but decent enough where you can beat 2 of these women. That would have been it. Anyway, this is me always George Page, aka the Emperor Female Bodybuilding Talk. Don't subscribe. I'm out.